A strong magnitude 5.8 earthquake shook Puerto Rico today. The whole island felt it. It was just 30 hours after the Mexico 5.8 earthquake and the Nicaragua earthquake of 5.3 a few days ago. We just had a 5.8 magnitude earthquake that shook whole of Puerto Rico. It was only 30 hours after the Mexico 5.8 quake, downgraded from 6.5 by USGS. And on the 3rd of January, we had a 5.5 in Nicaragua, basically in the same area as we could see, subduction zone. And of course, okay, the West Coast is still active, as is Alaska, the most active areas of the world. And we know that, of course, this area is in the ring of fire. And of course, this area here is on various different plates. And the Virgin Islands as well, the Caribbean is a volcanic arc as well. And this is just today's quake of another 5.6. Let's just go in and see what's happening there. And you'll see how many people felt it. They have reported it. 591 people reported this. It was very shallow, 6-kilometer depth. Let's go see the shake map of this. This is an area that's very seismically active, as we know. San Juan, Puerto Rico, right there. Let's go to the aerial so you can see things better. Right there. Okay. There you go. It's a little bit slow coming up. We have a terrible sleet and rainstorm, and we're going to be having frozen streets and snow tomorrow in Athens, Greece. Let's go here. And you can see how far the whole island has shaken, of course. And contours right there, everywhere, everywhere. And let's go to population density. Well, you can see that. Tectonic plates, we should have right there under that. Where is it? Oh, it's above that, but what about the faults? Okay. Let's push out a little bit. Okay, that's a better view of the whole area, as you can see here. The past earthquake activity, they try and post as many as they can, but it's not always all the earthquakes. And this is the volcanic arc that we can see here, and Kikum is somewhere around here. That's an undersea volcano that's very active. And this is the area of the earthquake yesterday and a few days before. Okay? Right here. This one here, Nicaragua 5.5 on January 3rd in the evening, and this is January 5th, 4:40 a.m. UTC. Quite deep, it's about 100 kilometers deep. This one was 109 kilometers deep. This one here in Puerto Rico is shallow of 6 kilometers deep. And we can go in to see the Caribbean area, right there, the Virgin Islands. And Kikum is somewhere around here, under the undersea volcano. And these are all volcanic islands, as you can see. Mariana Ridge, Lesser Antilles, the Caribbean Sea, U.S. Virgin Islands, Haiti. We know that they had the huge earthquake at one point, 2010. And let's go back to this. Sorry, okay. As you can see, there's the tectonic and faults. And if you go to the history of what's going on there, why such big quakes? It's because of the complexity of the tectonic regime characteristics in the Caribbean. The perimeter of the Caribbean plate involving no fewer than 4 major plates: the North American, South America, Nazca, and Caucasus. North American, Nazca. This is the whole Caribbean region. You can see that's, look at that. There is one fault, there's another, and that's another. And that's volcanic as well. And of course, this is volcanic as well. And the whole area here is volcanic as well. As you can see, right here, Salton Sea, Ridgecrest Coastal Volcanic Field, High Threat Volcano, Long Valley Caldera, and all the way up, Wandafuku Plate. Okay, this is the area that we're having our very big quakes lately. Okay, including inclined zones of deep earthquakes, ocean trenches, arcs of volcanoes, clearly indicate subduction of oceanic lithosphere along the Central American and Atlantic Ocean margins of the Caribbean Plate, while crustal seismicity in Guatemala, northern Venezuela, Cayman Ridge, Cayman Trench indicate transform fault and pull apart basin tectonics. Along the north margin of the Caribbean Plate, the North American Plate moves westward with respect to Caribbean Plate at a velocity of 20 milliliters per year. Motion accommodated along several major transform faults extending eastward from Isla de Loratan to Haiti, including the Swan Island Fault and the Orient Fault. The faults represent the southern and northern boundaries of the Cayman Trench, and further east from the Dominican Republic to the island of Barbuda. Relative motion between North American Plate and Caribbean Plate becomes increasingly complex and is partially accommodated by nearly arc-parallel subduction of the North American Plate beneath the Caribbean Plate. This results in formation of the deep Puerto Rico Trench and a zone of intermittent focus earthquakes 70 to 300 kilometer depth within the subduction slab. This one happened to be shallow, as we said. Okay? These were the deeper ones that we had yesterday and the day before. 70 and 90 somewhat kilometers. And this one today was only 6, so that was quite shallow. Okay? Although the Puerto Rico subduction zone is thought to be capable of generating a megathrust earthquake, there have been no such events in the past century. The last probable interplate thrust fault event occurred May 2nd, 1787, and was widely felt throughout the island, with documented destruction across the entire northern coast, including Arecibo and San Juan. Since 1900, the two largest quakes to occur in this region were in magnitude 8 in 1946, Samana earthquake in northeastern Hispaniola, and 1948 magnitude 7.6, Mona Passage earthquake, both of which were shallow thrust fault earthquakes. A significant portion of the motion between the North Plate and the Caribbean Plate is accompanied by a series of left lateral strike-slip faults that bisect the island of Hispaniola, notably the Septentrional Fault in the north and Enriquillo Plantain Garden Fault in the south. And the activity adjacent to Enriquillo Plantain Garden Fault is best documented by a devastating January 12, 2010, magnitude 7 Haiti strike-slip earthquake. We all knew about that, the Haiti earthquake. Associated aftershocks and a comparable earthquake in 1770. Now we don't know here, are these foreshocks or are these aftershocks? We have no idea, we have to see. But remember, we've had a tremendous amount of earthquake activity in this region of Puerto Rico. A tremendous amount. But of course they were not this big. Not this big. Okay, the Southern Caribbean Plate boundary with the South American Plate strikes east-west across Trinidad and western Venezuela, relative rate of about 20 millimeters per year movement. The boundary characterized by major transfer faults, including the Central Ridge Range Fault and Bocono, San Sebastian El Pilar faults, and shallow seismicity. Since 1900, the earthquakes to occur in this region were October 29, 1900, 7.7 Caracas earthquake, July 29, 1967, magnitude 6.5 earthquake near the same region. Further to the west, a broad zone of compressive deformation trends southwest across Venezuela and central Colombia. So you can see they have had big earthquakes, okay? Around 6.5 to 8 are not uncommon. Now the boundary between the Cocos and Nazca plates is characterized by a series of north-south trending transform faults. Okay, you can see north-south, and these are east-west. You see this? And this is northwest, southeast. You can have a triangle type shapes here. The movement going every which way. Look at this. This is east-west, east-west, and this is north-south. You can imagine what happens there. Okay, so the largest and most seismically active of these transport boundaries is the Panama Fracture Zone. The Panama Fracture Zone terminates in the south at the Galapagos Rift Zone, in the north in the Middle America Trench, where it forms part of the Cocos-Nazca Caribbean Triple Junction. Earthquakes along the Panama Fracture Zone are generally shallow, low to intermediate magnitude 7.2, and are characteristically right lateral strike-slip faulting earthquakes. And since 1900, the largest earthquake to occur along the Panama Fracture Zone was July 26, 1962, magnitude 7.2 earthquake. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. All of you are in that area, please be very careful because you are very seismically active. This is on Seismo Berkeley. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.